Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tony, and you're at No Guts, No Gluten. And today we're going to make pecan sticky rolls. One of my favorites growing up as a kid, but we're going to make them gluten-free since I have celiacs. And I'm going to try to make this recipe my mom used to make a couple times a year, and they were a big hit with the family, so I'm going to do my best to make them gluten-free. All right, so let's get started. All right, let's get started by mixing up the dry ingredients. We have 2 cups of gluten-free flour. I'm using a 1-to-1 flour. We also have 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum in here. We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So let's put that in here. And then here we have 3/4 of a cup of almond flour. In here we have 1.5 teaspoons of psyllium husk and 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And in here we have 1/4 cup of Splenda for baking. I'm also a diabetic and I like to keep my sugar intake low. So we're going to go ahead and add that in there. And I'm going to put this on the mixer. And we're going to beat on low speed just to combine everything for now. All right, now let's get our wet ingredients together. Okay, now let's mix together our wet ingredients. I have 1 cup of warm water, about 110 degrees. Then we have our yeast, which is 2¼ teaspoons, or 1 pack instant dry yeast. Add that in there. 2 eggs, beaten slightly. I'm going to give this a little stir. I have 2 teaspoons of melted butter. And 1.5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. All right, and we're going to slowly pour this in. And then we're going to mix this on low speed for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to bump it up to medium speed for 6 minutes. All right, and we're going to stop it, scrape down the sides. Okay. All right. We'll be back in 6 minutes. All right. That was 6 minutes. And that's what it looks like. It's supposed to be like a cookie dough, not really a dough. And we'll want to get everything off. All right, and then we're going to scrape down the sides. And then we're going to let this rest for an hour or proof for an hour. I'm just going to cover it and leave it in a warm place. And just try to get it into somewhat of a ball. Okay. We'll be back in an hour. All right, while our dough is proofing, we're going to go ahead and make the brown sugar cinnamon filling for inside the sticky buns. Okay, so we're using 1 cup of brown sugar, firmly packed. I got 6 teaspoons of melted butter. And then I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. All right, and I'll get that mixed up. Okay, you want to give that a taste just to make sure it's okay for you. Yep, I think that'll do her. Okay, we'll set that aside until our dough is ready and rolled out. Now we're going to make the caramel topping that the nuts, we're going to put the pecans in, and that's going to be on the bottom of our pan, and then we're going to set the rolls on top of that. So I'll get everything measured out and I'll be right back. All right, now that I got everything measured out for what we're going to be putting in the bottom of the pan, but then it's going to be the top of the rolls. So in here I got 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I got a 1/3 cup of corn syrup. And also in here is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I have 3/4 cup of melted butter. And in here I have 1.25 cups of chopped nuts. I went ahead and did 1 cup of nuts in the processor. And now I'm just breaking up the 1/4 cup of nuts, pecans, just so you have a little bit more showing of the nuts. All right, I'll get that mixed up and I'll be right back. I forgot also a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in here. So, mix up these. Add the butter. Now, if you think this might be too much butter for you, you can add it as you go. Then we're going to add our corn syrup and vanilla. And give that a mix. And then add our nuts. Okay. And then we're going to add this to our pan. So I am using a regular bread pan, loaf pan. Some people use round. I just chose to use this. Oh, spread that around. All right, so that's ready for when our dough's ready. All right, we're going to lightly grease our pan. I don't know how much this helps because we're going to be turning it out when it's still warm, but we'll get the sides. That'll help the dough from not sticking to the sides. All right. Now we can add our mixture. And you don't have to be too particular because when it's in the oven, it'll all melt together. Okay. All right. So we'll wait for our dough to rise. We'll roll it out and we'll be back. All right. It's been an hour since our dough's been proofing. Now we're going to just go ahead and start to roll it out. Then you want to flour your work surface. Flour. Okay. Now I got a little bit of water I'm using to help with the dough. Go ahead and just want to flour some more just to help roll it out. And don't be afraid to add more flour if you need to. It is definitely sticky. Okay, I'll get this rolled out and then we'll fill it. All right, so I got it rolled out. I ended up having used probably about another half cup of flour just to get it rolled out. So give that a little brush off there. So we got it, oh, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, probably about 15 by 15. And now we're gonna take our filling. I think I'm gonna pop this in the microwave, make it a little bit easier to spread. Well, I guess the video didn't turn on, but this is what they look like rolled. Then I'm going to proof these for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to bake them. All right, now that they proofed for about 15 minutes, We are going to throw them in a 375-degree oven for about 35 minutes. All right, so it's been about 25 minutes and I checked them and they seem to be done. They're starting to brown around the edges. So this is what they look like. They're nice and golden brown. So we're going to let these cool for about 5 minutes and then we're going to dump them onto this pan. And I have a piece of parchment paper. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and flip them. So I'm just going to and let them rest there for a minute without removing the pan. Okay, I'm going to lift up the pan. Be careful, still going to be hot. Okay, doesn't look too bad. And take all this ooey gooey yumness. Put that back on top. All right, we'll let that cool. And then we'll give her a try. All right, let's cut into this puppy. And see how she tastes. All right. Gluten-free pecan rolls, sticky buns. Oh yeah. Sorry, Mom. I think these are better. All right, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to No Guts, No Gluten. And if there's something that you want, me to try to bake or make, I'd be more than willing to try. Leave me a comment. If you like the video, hit that like button. And thanks again. No Guts, No Gluten.